So we're going to move on to Luke, who's last up for tonight. I asked the guys to give me a little bit of a bio on their backgrounds, and Luke replied, "I'm funny, good looking, and I've managed for a bit." So probably summarises the lad. I think my reply was something along the lines of, at the time of getting the job, Luke, you had an awful haircut and I felt sorry for you. So you've gone on to do really well. As a young player, Luke was at Arsenal, Spurs, before coming a pro at Swindon. You moved into management at a really young age, firstly as the assistant manager at Bournemouth, but then moved into the hot seat and has turned them into an established conference side. He came agonisingly close to being promoted to the Football League, and he's going to share with us today about how he prepares for games. So, Lukey, if you're ready,
thank you very much for the introduction, mate. I have to say the content's been unbelievable. I'm so glad you saved the worst till last, mate. I was tasked, obviously, to present a match preparation. Just before I start, just going to give you a little bit of history in terms of my ideas of why I believe, and I've put on my notes, our match prep is fundamental. But I just believe in general what match prep is fundamental in getting the win. I can't imagine many of the people that are involved in the webinar now, being the coaches and managers, are not using any sort of different ideas or methods that I'd be using. 2 years ago, we were very fortunate to start a relationship with Huddle, which took our delivery and presentation to a new level. Previously, that I was analysing sessions on a tactics board, which is great. I can understand people would have that on a Sunday or with their academies on a midweek, and it's needed, don't get me wrong, but to have the luxury of showing footage, allowing people to see sort of game relevant footage is so much more effective. It allowed for us to demonstrate perfectly what we wanted to communicate to the players. A big plus also was allowing me to put them into cluster groups. So goalkeepers would be in a group, defenders, midfielders and forwards. Very much position specific clips would be sent to them, and that would engage on the Huddle system. So that would then enter into a conversation with myself, the analyst, the assistant manager and the coach. And you could debrief information from the previous game. So if I touch on the defensive unit, if you was to say conceded a goal, you can hone in on the 6 to 8 defenders that you got within your squad and talk that through. So Huddle was a massive plus for me. It also enabled us to get feedback from the players and also giving them a little bit more knowledge away from the club. So as much as you're trying to get the contact time into the players when you're at the club, getting that contact time away from the club and engaging them when they're sitting in their living rooms and get an hour to themselves to watch the clips. This year, I believed I needed to have evolution as opposed to revolution. I thought Huddle was fantastic, but for me, we wasn't using it to its maximum. When I was given Huddle, say 2 years, that was our Wembley year. We'd had a kiddie that come through our academy that was doing all the clips for us, and it was very much left down to myself to deliver the analyst session. And the likes of Ross will know, having that, and Anthony when he was at Woking would know, that having that same voice, whether that's delivering an analyst session, giving a bollocking or giving a praise, and then going onto the green, into the grass and delivering a session, it can get too repetitive. So I felt this year I needed to reshuffle my management team. We actually looked to recruit a coach for the analyst role. Reason for that was I believe you need coaches to identify what you're asking for. I know there are some very, very good analysts. I was lucky enough to go down to Cardiff with Warnock and sit there for hours and on end with him and his analyst team, and none of them had coached. But I just felt at the National League level, you kind of need to have a baseline understanding of what's expected. And for me, when I'm relaying the information, I need that coach or / analyst to identify what I'm looking for. Also, I need him to have the confidence, like I touched on previously with regards to having the same voice, the players listen to it. It comes mundane and a little bit repetitive. So I wanted him to deliver the sessions for me. And we recruited a fella called Elliot Alum. I've seen him in the participants this evening. He's listening in. He's the one that delivered this presentation. We worked very closely together to set this up, but fundamentally, he's the one that delivers it. For me, the decision's been proved correct. I honestly feel his addition, he's played a huge part in our success. Just before I move on to the slides and quickly touch on the presentation, what it looks like prior. So on a Saturday, we all know that if you win, lose or draw, your work doesn't finish. And I use a saying in the game that if you've won, you park it. If you've lost, you park it. You've got to park it. It moves on. You can't analyse a defeat because you're emotional. You can't get involved with the win because you're emotional. You have to just think that you've got a game the following Saturday and all your focus goes to that game. So on the Saturday at 5:30, myself and my management team would have sat down and I'd have already given them a debrief with regards to the game and set them targets in terms of moving forward. So myself, my assistant, my first team coach and my analyst will be given the task to watch 3 games, previous games. So you can see on the screen now you've got Bournemouth v Barrow. So I would have asked my staff to watch the 3 previous games to Barrow. On the Monday, we'd obviously arrive, we'd debrief what we've all seen, obviously throw it into a melting pot, whether that's strengths, weaknesses, in and out of possession, set plays, key players, etc. It's very much just ideas, and it's a spider chart as such. We throw ideas to each other and see what we've all seen. The final conversation was obviously be between myself and the analyst. It's the detail as such. What I want to be discussed. Obviously, we all understand and appreciate we have to navigate our players to implement what we're looking at as managers and put into practice what we want to deliver on a match day. So that would be the final conversation between myself and the analyst. And then this will be obviously displayed in a presentation, as you'll see in a few seconds. Just want to touch on a Monday to Friday week, really. On a Monday, coming back on after the game on a Saturday, like I said, I would have debriefed for the management team on a Saturday. You have to debrief for the group on a Monday. You have to implement what was put in practice. Did you deliver on it? Did they do well enough? Should they have implemented what my ideas better? Touch on what we worked on, show them sort of the clips and where we felt that they've done really well in. And obviously there's negatives in every game, and I would have been very picky to suggest if they are going to be played or not, depending on the result. It's a lot easier as a manager to put a negative to someone when you've won a game of football. So yeah, a Monday would be very much debriefing the weekend previously. You then go onto the grass and it's very much limited session. We all know that it's just, I like a 48-hour recovery after a Saturday game to try and give them the utmost in terms of travelling around the country, playing the intensive games that you do get at National League level, to not give them too much of an overload. So Monday would be very limited, but it'd be very much about team meetings and organising yourself to get into the analyst suite, to hone in on what could have been better and where you were good in terms of on a Saturday. Tuesday, we all know, is fundamentally your work day. I'm hot on repetition, all about positional specific stuff. I like offensive play. I like to, unopposed, I think is brilliant because you sort of get the pitches and patterns without them breaking down. So Tuesday's fundamentally for me all about pitches and patterns, getting repetition into the group. Thursday, I'm hot on. Listen, I don't know how Ross and Anthony see it and John and the other guys see it, but I think a lot of your work goes in throughout the week. Yes, you can play a massive part in terms of changing a game on a Saturday, whether that's through a sub or change of shape in play or whatever it may be, but fundamentally you're putting the group to work throughout the week. And for me, my Thursday is the biggest day. If you want to move on the slides, please, you'll see the first slide. So Elliot would have selected this slide. We would have watched the game, would have debriefed at Barrow 3-5-2. We'd have highlighted Kay, highlighted Rooney, highlighted Hardcastle, Quigley and Angus. If you see on the right-hand side, you see a formation of OP, which is out of possession, IP in possession. You see currently their last 5 games. This slide is fundamentally to engage the group. They're currently first, as you can see. So straight away as a manager, no disrespect, my team talk limited. I don't have to deliver too much on a team talk on the fact that they've scored 19 goals and conceded none in their last 5 games, which would suggest one of my players stating, are we playing Barcelona as opposed to Barrow? So that's fundamentally to engage your group. If you was to move on a slide for me, we would then go into possession. And if you punch one more along, there's three aspects of that. If you go 1, 2 and 3. So you go to build attack, create the attack and finish the attack. And I have to say, and like I said about fresh ideas and people coming in with sort of new ways of working. This is fundamentally Elliot Alum's work. This, I have to say, I've taken it on board. I've loved it, and we've run with it. The fact that it's the build attack, the create attack, and finish the attack. If you jump on one slide again, you'll see with regards to the build attack, if you was to play it, it's 30 seconds, 35 seconds worth of clips. It's 2 clips per aspect. So the build attack, we're showing where Barrow was to build their attacks, how they start their offensive play, how they were to create opportunities in terms of, with them, they're very much a ball-based team. With Solihull, they're very much a percentage-based team. And I know that with regards to watching the game, we've implemented what we wanted to do with regards to them and how they work. Elliot would have put this into 2 clips for me, again, just showing the aspects of them building their attack. If you jump the slide again, go one more slide again, and again, we then go into the create attack. So thank you so much. So then we move up the thirds. So again, it's another 30-second clip. I'm very hot on not giving them too much information, not bombarding players with detail that's probably irrelevant. You see in here, they're trying to play through the midfielder there with Rooney on the 8, and they go back to Platt in possession of the football, and they very rotational on their midfield. While this is going on, as this clip is to stop and you progress 2 slides, I'd be also starting with regards to on the board. Here's one perfect. So if you just jump back one, Elliot Alum, again, this is us in a luminous yellow. So we would have played them in week 16 and also week 31. This is showing how they set up against us. So for me, it gives you the perfect opportunity to show you how they are delivering on their game plan against your shape. So same fundamentals, split out the back, goalkeeper very comfortable in possession of football, play through centre half. So again, it's just really honing in terms of then in possession. So if you jump through a few slides, you then would have done create and finish the attack. You jump through again, jump through again. That's them in terms of, if you hold there, in possession. I'm hot on starting with the opposition. I believe that with that, I want to touch on them, of course. I want to hone in on their strengths, what they do when they're in possession of the football. More so than anyone, Barrow are fundamentally a ball-based team. They're outstanding when they land on the ball, and I want to hone in on that. But again, you'd see as it works along the slides, you'll see it works towards what we need to do to become the team to win the game of football. So then now it goes out of possession. So don't watch the slides. If you just progress, again, it will have defending in opposition half, the 2 aspects. Again, you'll see the counter press. So if you progress on again and again, you'll see there's another 2 clips on that. Again, 30 seconds long, not too long. The information, I don't want to be irrelevant. I don't want them to start to switch off within the team meeting. I can't have that. And I need them to be engaged. So quick clips, quick organisation in terms of when we're rattling through the slides. I don't want people starting to switch off and not to tune in, because fundamentally, this is why we're going to be organising ourselves to beat Barrow. And this is where areas to exploit. Again, if you progress the slide, forced direct pass and vulnerable when defending central and left side. I know Ian Everett's watching this now, and if we was to play him again, he'll hone in on this. But you'll start to see start to focus on where we're at as a team and how we organise ourselves. Again, if you progress onto the slide, it's us and how we were to organise ourselves. And this is obviously a live game against Bromley. You see Bromley in the reds. There's a turnover of possession quite quick and they counter. This is very important for me, working on people's weaknesses and honing in on that in terms of analysing it initially and then implement it into a game. It's all well and good that we can all sit there and watch a game and be great in terms of watching a football match and talking about it. We all know as managers and coaches, to implement it is the hard part. And you'll see as you progress again and again, and again and again, it's all about what we do. So it's us winning possession. It's about us organising ourselves. And you'll see Chorley here in possession again. Chorley played a 3-5-2 in this game. And I was hot on watching this game. Why? Because we play a 3-5-2. So I wanted to see how they organised their front 2 against our back 3. How they organised, Chorley's front 2 against their back 3. So we really hone in on specific games, organise ourselves in terms of where we feel that we can hurt them. And like I say, I want the group, the team, leaving the meeting all about us organising. And I'm hot on it. You see the goal there. I talk to Elliot and I say to him, I need a positive finish, whether that's a goal, a corner, a free kick in their 18-yard box. I need something where the boys buy into it. And that's something that we all know and understand as managers. We have our ideas. We have everything that we want to work on in terms of implementing stuff on a training ground and working on analyst stuff. Fundamentally, we need to show positivity and showing that a counter-attack does actually work. And you see that with the finish from Chorley. If you're to progress again, and again, you'll see there's some slides. This is us again. Don't play it, not an issue playing it, but in terms of us, and you'll see in this clip, actually play it, and you'll see in this clip, pressing high to force a direct pass. So we were very, very well drilled in terms of trying to get them rushing possession back to front and trying to press with an intent. So you see that bad body shape, we press with an intent, we're now on the counter. So we showed them when we played them up at Barrow that we were successful in that. And again, on the regain, looking to press and again, offering up the ball back to front for us to regain possession of the football. So again, we're showing clips that favour my argument, if you just go forward again, favour what I'm trying to ask from the players and implement in a game plan. And if you would like to just forward one more slide. I know I'm down to 8 minutes. And again, sorry, you'll see that they were down to and again, one more. Set pieces. So on a Thursday, I'd finish that off. I wouldn't be showing the set pieces on a Thursday. Again, I touch on bombarding players with far too much information. And there's three ways of learning, in my opinion. I think there's ways of learning right with visually, so through video, through tactics board, and then implementing it, whether that's on the grass, talking people through sessions. So my session then would be based fundamentally on Barrow on a Thursday. I'd probably heavily go organisation in terms of them in possession, organisation not allowing them opening the pitch up, organisation when and when not to press. And then Friday would be the set pieces. I feel that these are fundamentally important. I think we all appreciate restarts in a game of football. If you used to watch Match a Day on a Saturday or the National League highlights show on a Saturday, doesn't matter what happens, you can see that there's restarts scored in every level. And I believe in the National League, it's a silly stat of 57% scored from restarts, whether that's a goal kick, throw on, free kick or corner. So I would fundamentally hone in on set pieces and state that they need to be given on their own time. And on a Friday, we would work on attacking corners if you was to progress, attacking corners, again, if you was to progress, and then show the set pieces, attacking free kicks. You'll see this one from Rooney, I believe it is. They play out. This is Rooney on the Bromley game. And then they look to, they don't have just a bit, they don't possess great height, Barrow. So a lot of their restarts are short. Look, you look at that, that's an unfamiliar sort of start. They don't really set up to put a ball in the box. They really spread, they make it pitch massive. So they're looked and he starts to play left side. So it's brilliant. They make the pitch big and organise themselves. So I'm giving the players every opportunity to understand what's going to be shown to them and implemented in the game. If you was to progress one more. So again, one more, and again, pass forward onto that. We would leave them with this. Again, you look at us in fifth currently, it's positive. It's very, very positive. You look at we've not lost in our last 5. We're sitting 5th in the league. We've got a great goal difference in 13. I'm hot on positivity. I believe leaving a meeting room on a Friday, then to go into a quick, short, sharp session for 45 minutes to 50 minutes on a Friday, giving them, the energy and the purpose to go and deliver on a game plan and to not have the focus of Barrow. I know I've touched on it. I've set the seed on a Thursday. We're touching it again on a Saturday, but really my work's done Monday to Friday. My group would turn up at 1:15 in their shirt and tie. I wouldn't be in the change room until 1 to 2. I would touch on little details. For me, I've done my work Monday to Friday. I don't want to bombard them on a match day. I want them to have their own prep. They wouldn't see me until 2:45 after 1 to 2. I'm hot on, that's their space, that's their time. I believe that they need to get themselves ready to go and deliver on what I'm asking for as a player. So that's me in terms of match prep. That's me in terms of organising throughout the week. And as I suggested, I can imagine a lot of managers have the luxury of working on huddle and having that ready to watch game time and delivering on tactics and analysis. I'm not reinventing the wheel. It's just giving an insight of what and how we work as a club in the National League. And with regards to the other lads and John and Anthony working at youth level and saying it's not about winning. Fundamentally, the National League, we all know it's about winning games of football and League Two, League One, Championship, because we're not here, unfortunately, to develop players. And when you touched on, you asked the question to Anthony Watters about how do you get the respect of the senior players. I was 30 and I had 7 players in the squad older than me. And what I did, I got them on board. I got them on board straight away. I had a club captain in terms of Mark Ricketts. I had a vice captain in terms of Tom Champion that I had regular meetings with to engage and to get into the group. I saw who the alpha male was. I made sure that he was under my wing and made sure that he was delivering on everything I wanted from him. So, yeah, listen, it's tough. It's tough. Everyone's job on here, delivering, whether that's sports science, head of recruitment, director of football, director of recruitment, assistant managers, is tough. It's a harsh industry, but being a manager is very lonely.
Mate, that's amazing. Thank you. Thank you for that. Unfortunately, we are sort of very close to running out of time. So you've got some really good questions, Luke. I think one that I will, because it doesn't really need a long answer. Just Fergus Moore wants to know if your banter's got any better from the days at Northwood.
Who's Fergus? Sorry, who's Fergus?
So that concludes tonight, guys. The webinar. I think it's fair to say that there's been a wide variety of topics discussed, which no doubt has left you with